Hello and welcome to our Crusader Kings 3 series, Carantania Rises. And before the actual episode starts, I have a few words to say. As you might already have guessed from the video title, this will be the last episode in this series. There is a couple of reasons for that, but I feel like it is best to just make a cut and start with something new afterwards. I will talk about that at the end of the episode. There has been a problem with some of the footage I recorded. So we're actually missing 6 years from the last regular episode and this episode. In that 6 years, there was one major thing that happened, and that is that we actually became a duke, that we found a duchy. But nothing else really happened. So don't be surprised when suddenly it's 6 years later than when we last left off, and suddenly we are a duke. So yeah, I feel like this episode is also kind of nice in how it ends. So yeah, we just go right in, and I will talk to you at the end of the episode again. We are jumping back into the campaign with not Count anymore, Duke Kazimir. He was Count Kazimir IV, but now he is the Duke of Krain. And yeah, we do have quite the territory already. We have our vassal. Should be from our family. Yeah, he's just one member of our dynasty, and then we have our brother, also with some titles here. So last time we left Kazimir, basically. Yeah, he is definitely a person to behold, a person to remember, but he's also a very good warmonger. Well, that's basically the only thing he is good at. And we are going to try to see if we can fight some more wars. We probably won't go against the King of Poland, even though our son, he has... Oh yeah, the Count of Brzeg. I think that's over here somewhere, right? Yeah, it's here. I think his mother... Exactly, our wife. But yeah, he'll get that anyways. He will inherit that anyways. So, obviously, Aquileia would be a nice spot to have, but yeah, that's out of our reach. Istria on its own would be a possibility, but well, they have so many allies. Maybe. Why is Carinthia down here? Why is he? Oh, he's the Duke of Upper Bosnia as well. Why is he the Duke of Upper Bosnia? He created the Duchy of Upper Bosnia? How? Well, let's not ask. He is allied with Crimea to whatever reason. So that might be a problem as well. On the other hand, like just getting Carinthia, like the core of Carinthia, the core of Carantania basically, would be pretty nice. We would have to give up one of our counties because I think... where is it? Economy. Yeah, Carinthia is definitely way up ahead of... Wait, isn't there a development? There we go, development, that's what I want to do. Development 17, actually it's not ahead. Interesting. We did some good work here developing our core countries, our core counties. But yeah, so maybe you're not an option. You might be an option, but we don't have any Casus Belli. We might be able to gain a Casus Belli on like Gatska, for example. Or Modrush. Doesn't really matter, right? Well, Gatska is definitely the more interesting one. It's also the main holding of this one. Oh, right, I forgot. Bohemia is here as well. Croatia and Hungary are part of the Holy Roman Empire. That's how he created Upper Bosnia and stuff. Fair. Very fair. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to fabricate a claim on Gatska here. Because he's currently at war. He's winning, but that's not... Well, Hungary is at war, I guess. Yeah. But he might lose some troops. And we might gain some troops in the meantime. And then we'll see. Because we do have... Yeah. He's a bit stronger than us currently. Let's move on. And immediately... no. Definitely not. And now we have an event with our son and heir. A ruler's path. Kazimir is now the same age as I was when I ascended to rule. My path was filled with hardships, being responsible for the whole realm at such a young age. Yet it made me the man I am today. My childhood was much different from my peers. Instead of childish games, I played the game of adults. I played it and learned well. He would get the county of Krain. Yeah, let's just give him 2 stewardship. That's nice. He's growing up to be a good balance between martial and stewardship at the moment. And now, my wife, our niece and wife, she's imprisoned by the King of Poland now. What crimes for? Why is she? Because she's an adulterer. Honestly, I do not want this to... Countess Judita of Sesh has exposed my niece Risa's affair with my rival with our rival. Whoa. Can I challenge him? Yeah, let's challenge him. We wait for the ransom. And we challenge him to a fight. A husband's honor. Word of Countess Richter's adultery spreads across Krain and beyond, and I can't help but see a veiled contempt behind each servant and courteous smile. Count Bohowel has made a mockery of me and my family. Well, he did reject the duel. The thing is, we could start a feud, or we could not. We are forgiving, but we're also brave. So in this case, I'm gonna roll a d4 and see where this goes. And I rolled a 1, so we are starting feud. Very interesting, and we gain some stress. Yeah, we engaged in a brutal feud. You accused of infidelity. Alright. Is there some new things we can do now? Not really, right? I mean, they have 10 living members. Alright. Mental break. Guilt and shame have been plaguing me as of late. All of my sins, my flaws, my failings, these dark thoughts distract me from my responsibilities and keep me awake at night. I feel like I must do something to put an end to this mental anguish, but what could possibly help? Drinking binge for 3 years. Sure, we are a drunkard anyways, right? Aren't we a drunkard? Yeah, let's go for the drunkard option here. And our wife is free now again. That's nice, so I didn't have to get her out of the prison. Which is quite nice, honestly. Even though she still has a regent. No, we don't want to give a hostage. She still has a region, but that's fine. Yeah, we have 40. She's 32. All right. He's a dwarf. There's some really bad stuff in our family. We have albinos. She's ill. He is a dwarf and a bleeder. She's sickly. Yeah, our family line is, interestingly enough, not doing too good at the moment. Not doing too good. And yeah. The Andalusians are doing quite fine though. The Carantanian Andalusians. It's gonna be funny to see if one of these kings at one point or another will create a Carantanian and Andalusian hybrid culture. Alright, we do have a new rival here. Tomislav, one of our knights. You might be a duke, but you are also false Bambit. The unprovoked anger expressed by my rival Tomislav comes as a complete surprise. He has been under a lot of stress lately, but when asked to explain himself, he only doubled down on the insults. I will give as good as I get. The churl. Interesting. I honestly... Because we are a cannibal, adulterer, sodomite, albino... Oh, he was forcibly recruited. Interesting. I don't remember this guy at all, to be honest. Alright, and then we have our first feud event. Desperate measures. Our feud with House Topor has been a disaster. We are no closer to revenge and their outrages only continue. If we are to end this vendetta properly, perhaps it is time to deliver the coup de grace. It is Count Bohor's times. Anna stays. Is she... She's just someone, okay. Other plans? No, this was a mistake. Since this all gives us penalties, because we're brave and forgiving, I will roll another d4. And we'll see where this will lead us. And I rolled a 1 again, so it is time for Count Bohor to die. Interesting. Sure. Let's bribe you. And get you in, and then... I mean, it takes 8 years. But... Because he has a lot of scheme resistance, I see. How about... You support some schemes. It makes it half. That's good. Agents and court. I have discovered agents at my court, obviously in the employ of my nemesis Count Bohor. When ordered to withdraw them, the Count acquiesced? I have never read this word in my life. But I might have to keep an eye out. Dark whispers precede dark deeds. I mean, we do hate him already, so... And this takes 6 years now. Interesting. Discipline and loyalty. Knowing how soldiers act around each other and noticing how freely information and rumor flows, I'm struck by an idea. If some of my own soldiers were to infiltrate Count Bohor's army, they might offer different insight into his plans. We would get soldier source, secrecy, success chance, scheme power. The thing is, secrecy is fine. We just need this to like go on fast, right? So yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, now it's only 3 years. The enemy of Rome. While studying the tactics of ancient generals, I was amazed to learn about the exploits of Hannibal Barca during the Second Punic War. Known as the enemy of Rome, Hannibal's crowning achievement was the Battle of Cannae, where his army of roughly 50,000 outmaneuvered and encircled the larger 86,000 strong Roman army. Surrounded and unable to retreat, only 3,000 Romans survived the massacre. Okay, like Hannibal, I will annihilate my enemies. Hannibal was a true master of Fabian tactics. Why do I gain stress from what? Okay. Versatility was Hannibal's greatest strength. Honestly, I don't... I mean, we're brave, but... I don't see why this... Well, logician gives us a penalty for forgiving. I don't see the... Maybe because of the encircle and massacre. Well, we are a drunkard. We are a cannibal, I guess. We are reckless. So then go with aggressive attacker, I guess. I think that suits this quite well. Alright, and now we have the next event for the murder. En route. When the time comes, my agents will need a safe escape route out of Count Bohua's castle should anything go wrong. A detailed map of the local plains with all its hidden paths and caves would be an invaluable resource. Sure. Mapped surroundings. Right. Still 4 years. Still 4 years. He is fickle, minus 20%. Yeah, he has some strong anti schemes going on for him, even though he is a seducer. That's how he got my wife, right? That must be how he got our wife. They're not even lovers. He just seduced her to be a pain in my ass, I guess. It is done. Twist of fate. As I make all the preparations necessary for Count Bohua's departure from this world, I am interrupted by a page. The fool went and died without any help from me. Satan must have been eager for his company. Life in color. What a delightful day it is. The wind is refreshing, the sun is warm, insects chirp happily in the undergrowth. Everything seems bright and vivid, and it's all because the hysterical scullion Bohual is finally blessedly dead. I can't contain my grin as a train of his friends and family file past me on their way to say their last goodbyes. The scowls I get in return from the bereaved only makes my smile wider. I turn to depart and the young beggar's eyes go as wide as my smirk as I cheerily flip him a coin of such a value that his entire family will eat well for weeks. But yeah, it is time to move on. We are forgiving, he died, so let's just keep this behind, but we have a next enemy. Hateful House Topor is now in the hands of Dobromir, a count surely just as wicked as his predecessor. Fair, yeah, fair. Everyone knows of Bohua's cuckolding of me, but what of the future? Alright. See, shouldn't we, like, lose stress because we are forgiving? But yeah, I guess the feud continues. I guess the feud continues. Beset by threats. Please, Count Kazimir Muse. This insane... Oh, Kazimir of Beliak, yeah. This insane grudge has got to stop. I'm scared to go anywhere and I jump at the merest mention of a Topor. My muscle is clearly shaken. I'm torn between the risks posed to my family and the need to teach Count Dobromir a lesson. Stress... Yeah. Okay, I will roll another d4 here. And I rolled a 2, so we are done with this feud. And at the same time, the Mongols rise. There was a interesting event with Kazimira's son seeing us like just drink. And now we have the second part of this event, and this is interesting. The door to the cellar is usually closed. This is easily recalled due to the cook's incessant complaining about rats. Cautiously, I approach the murky open doorway. My son Casimir pops into view, mouth ajar, eyes glazed, his breath reeking of slivovitz and stone treats. I stagger away from the side. Is this how I act? And this is interesting because we are gluttonous, right? Because we do have the chance to better ourselves. But I think looking at the gluttonous, I think we stay a drunkard, right? But we can maybe have the same effect on our son, which we don't, which thankfully we don't. But yeah, we strengthened the bonds with him, I guess. Great expectations. Count Rixa approaches me with a friendly smile. My love, have you seen how majestic our Kazimir is becoming? She could practically rule this nation with one hand tied behind her back, and I swear by the Lord that she would make you very proud. She gives me a side-eye glance. Of course, if there's anything I could do in order to make the idea more enticing, I'm sure you would let me know, and we could come to some sort of an agreement, my fair uncle. A wry smile lingers on her lips. Anything, she says. Okay. I don't... Thing is, I don't really understand what this will do for me. Because like this doesn't make her our heir, right? So I'm not sure what's happening here, but let's get some skilled courtiers, I guess. We could already try to find a suitable husband for her. Obviously, we are going with Carantanians first. How's Golub? He's temperate, patient, paranoid. Sure. Thing is, there's not a lot of options here, right? Let's go with Lysia Golub. Just so we have the Golub. On the other hand, let's think about it further. She's 15, she will grow up soon, then we have to make a choice anyways. Persona grata. Richter catches up with me once more. Uncle, I come bearing news. She hurries to my side, unveiling a soft sheet with a collection of scribbles while doing so. These fine people would be most pleased to come work for you here at our court. I glance at the sheet. These are some impressive set of skills. I'll give her that. We have Semin Foriets. Good soldier. Orel Potocznik. Ooh. And Gradislava Kirsman. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, I mean, all of them are really nice. Ideally, we would get Gradislava because of the 33 intrigue. But we are a very military-minded guy, right? We are very... we're brave, we're gluttonous, we're not really into, like, schemes, right? So I think we will get Demil here. Oh yeah, okay, now we have to... Okay, this is a bit weird. All hail the Kaiser. Richter smiles triumphantly in my direction as I stride towards her. She winks. Now for your end of the bargain, my Kaiser. I don't know why it says Kaiser, but sure. So this would make our daughter our heir instead of our son. Do we mind? Not really, right? Do we mind that much? We like him a bit more. Just because she's an albino. Other than that, she's brave, she's patient, she's stubborn, charming, brave, calm, and bossy. They're both definitely our children. But sure. Right? Or we go further. I could imprison her because of her schemes? Really? That is... What? Alright. This seems a bit too weird for me, to be honest. That doesn't fit. But I will roll a die here, between the first and the third option, I think. Because I'm not sure. I don't hate the idea, but I also don't see anything that goes against, like, either way. So we just roll, and I rolled a 3, so we go with this option here. And nothing happened. But a face from long ago. I settle into my bed as snug and comfortable as a babe betwixt its mother's breasts. But right as my heavy eyes at last close for some rest, I shoot up in my bed as I see a figure sit down beside me. To my horror, it is none other than my deceased friend, Prince Vratislav of Bohemia. He callously cackles at me as I shriek in horror. Come now, Kazimir, is that any way to greet an old friend? I come to you with the warning, your overindulgence in food while there are those with none is an obscenity. Why have seconds when there are those who won't even have their first? You must repent for what you've done. I learned the hard way that every sin we commit incurs a debt to God, my friend, and he is not forgiving of his debtors. Wow. Okay. Okay. I honestly don't know. How about, I guess we re-roll here as well. And I rolled a 1, so we will repent. Interesting. And since we just repented, even though we were drunkard, but right, we re-repented. Like, we were like, okay, sure, but we are gluttonous, right? At the end, we are still gluttonous. No, we still go with this. Okay, this is interesting. Whenever I talk about Kazimir with my wife, Countess Richter, she always grows distance. At first I thought nothing of it, but now I am starting to suspect that Richter is hiding something. I do not question the heritage of my son Kazimir lightly, but doubt is gnawing at my mind. I need to know. I need to know. I wave at my wife, Countess Richter, as she walks across the garden. Sure, she's in Poland though, but yeah. But she demonstratively turns away. My initial concerns about Kazimir's lineage seem to have been misgivings. However, they are not like to forget them anytime soon. We are forgiving, right? We are forgiving, I guess. And our daughter Kazimira has come of age. She's alright, I'd say. She's alright. Yeah, I think... Ooh. Semil. You will marry Semil. And it's fine that she's not of our dynasty then. Their children are not of our dynasty, that's fine. But you will replace this guy. You will replace Stoico as our spy master. Because she is definitely better. Alright, let's get one of these. And as you can see, I started to fabricate a claim on this here. He is allied with Bosnia, but that's fine because they are at war. They don't have troops anyways. So Carinthia might soon be part of our realm. And now our infirm bishop tells us that, I mean, yeah, fair. She's our niece, right? Our wife is our niece, but that's allowed, right? That is allowed. The thing is, I want a third option here, where it is like, okay, just whatever, I don't care, because we are brave, right? Like, we are brave enough to say, no, we won't divorce, but we also won't give him a weak hook. We just do with that information as you want, right? But I will give him the hook, I guess. And now now we already have the consequences. I raise my hand to call for Kazimir from across the hall, yet my daughter only returns an embarrassed glance before rushing off. My own family has been turned against me by that squeamish ogreish bishop Sides. He has taken up a habit of whispering lies in my relatives' ears whenever they go to him for spiritual guidance, claiming that I am a wicked duke, and that God cursed our house. I do have a few things to say about him. Will a public show of contribution help? I will not let the bishop undermine me. We're forgiving, right? We just... We're forgiving and brave, honestly. This thing, I... don't think... Honestly. These all could work, right? Like, this is more forgiving. This is, like, brave. This is also kind of brave. So, I will roll a d6 here. And see where this leads us. I rolled a 1, so we go with this option. I do have a few things to say about him. And I spent 150. Nice. Alright. Tomislav. Hook line. What a wonderful day to go fishing. I'd feel like nothing could wipe the smile off my face were it not for a voice behind me and my fishing partner Berta. Look who we have here. Tomislav, clearly just returned from a fishing trip of his own, is flanked by the figure of Semil. Okay. The former reaches down and grabs one of their wriggling catch. The resemblance is uncanny. I turn to go with the dramatic roll of the eyes, but the thud and the trickling wetness down the back of my neck stops me dead. Berta's eyes narrow as she regards the fish that had been thrown at us. Okay. Wait, we gain... And you have to explain this to me. We gain stress because of being brave for both of these, like fighting against him. But also, if we don't fight against him, we also gain stress from being forgiving. What? Alright, I think though, at this point, we are brave, we are aggressive. Like, we have forgiven him a couple of times already, right? Like, we were like, okay, sure, he's our rival, but we won't do anything against him, it's fine. But I think now it's just, we fight. We settle this with fists. And obviously we won. Sure, more drinking. War, drinking. And we're ill. And we're dying now. Amazing. We are on the cusp of dying. We can try to get... Sure, let's get Ivana here. We are brave, it is too late for caution. We lost the trade ill. Amazing. We will declare war on Duke Milo now over the county of Carinthia. So let's go with that. No, I don't want to... okay. It will be fine, right? Right? It will be fine. Let's say. I've heard of your disputes with that vile fiend Tomislav, the most contemptible excuse for a man. Sure, why not? We become friends with them. With her. Alright, it's 7 months. Are we leading the army? No, I don't want to give hostages out. Yeah, we are leading the army, obviously. We're the only one. Well, Semil is good as well, but I think we're just... We want to lead the troops on our own, right? Okay, as we just won the war, there's an event with her son. And he tortured a doe. I think ambitious is the best part here, right? I think making him ambitious is the best going forward, right? Or not? We are forgiving, so that's not too bad. Do we want him to be sadistic? I think ambitious, with the way Kazimir lived his life and now being a duke, I think ambitious is the way to go here. And yeah, we did win the war. We will enforce the demands, which means now we do have the county of Koroshka as well. So this is Tilowitz. The other two I don't know, I will look that up. But we have to get rid of that anyways. So I will give... Do I want to give him... maybe not, right? How about one of our other courtiers? Stoico... We don't like Stoico. Oh. Who's she? Why is she here? How about Lysiak? Right, let's give Lysiak... He doesn't like us, but let's give him this part of the land. Then who will like us a bit more, at least. And could I arrange a marriage with you just to... With daughter Novica, why not? To have like an alliance here. Sure. And with the conquering of the county of Koroshka, this will be the last thing Duke Kazimir of Krain will do in our campaign. As I said, I think like this is a very good spot to stop. We didn't quite get every county with the Carantanian culture. There's still Istria, there's still Trauwald. But I think we got like the core provinces, right? And that was kind of the first, like the mid goal is to like unite the Carantanians under one banner. We're still part of the HRE, we're still ruled over by Germanic people, be it Bavarians, be it Franconians, be it whatever. But overall, the first bigger goal to unite the core Carantanians, at least under our house banner, we did that, and I think that can be considered an achievement and a success, especially because we did it in 4 generations, I think. So that is a nice thing. So yeah, and again, I think this is a good spot to say, okay, this is it. This will be the end of the campaign. Thank you, every single one of you who stayed with the campaign, especially with all the on and off going on during this series. And I hope I can entice one or another with amongst you to tune in for the next campaign, which will be another heavily roleplay focused series, but with some twists, some adjustments that I learned from the Carantania Rises campaign. And so it probably won't be as long, and it will be a bit more organized, I would say. I think that's a good word. What I can say for now, I don't want to spoiler too much, but the name of the series will be Wolves of the Steppe. So I think you guys can maybe have some ideas about what's going on there. But yeah, the new series will start soon. So that is exciting, at least for me. And I hope you guys will be there to support me and our new dynasty, our new people. Until then, thank you again so much for all the support you guys showed me, all the feedback as well in the comments. That is always welcome. And see you with the Wolves of the Steppes.